Hi kids, welcome back. It's a really sunny day today for a change. Okay, so this is part 4 of making my Tim Burton-esque inspired little maquette. Last time on part 3 we did a lot of rejigging to the armature, replacing the thick wire down the arms and legs with thinner wire because I realized it was going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. By the time we put all the clay on it, it would have been like too big and like huge. And this is not what we want for Tim Burton. Anyway, bad impressions aside, instead of doing a little bit more work on this, which we've done plenty on already, I think you might want to see something fun. So I think we're going to do, I haven't got it with me. We're going to do some sculpting for the noggin. So I'm going to make a tinfoil ball at about 1.5 inches and cover it in Sculpey and have a go at beginning. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll start sculpting the head for this, which we can put separately in the oven to fire so it goes hard. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I didn't even plan that. You know what I mean. Come on, you look too skinny and weedy. Get on with the video. Sorry.
And we have a ball of Super Sculpey. I don't know if it's enough to cover the head entirely, but I've just discovered something. This is Super Sculpey left over from this project, which you can see is the Lawgiver character from the Planet of the Apes original 5-part saga, which I started sculpting all excitedly and then it kind of slowed down. So this is leftover Super Sculpey. I do have a couple of extra blocks about this size, and it was quite tough. I was trying to bend it and it was cracking. And I thought, how can you soften this stuff up? Because it's a kind of plastic. It's not like water clay. It's not like terracotta clay or anything. So I looked into it, and you can buy polymer clay softener, which is a liquid, or you can use anything oily. Now, I don't have any cooking oil or baby oil, so I had a rummage around in the old first aid and bathroom cabinet or whatever, and my choices were Albus oil, which is that very strong thing that you use to kind of unblock your nose, or Vic. I don't know if you have Vic in the States, but Vic's Vapor Rub, which is basically a kind of Vaseline that's got a menthol infused into it, which has got, and if I used those, this would never stop smelling, ever. But weirdly enough, I had the lubricant to end all lubricants, to get any party going, Vaseline petroleum jelly. It even says lip therapy on it, so some people use it as like lip balm. But honestly, I know it sounds dodgy, but I don't know where this came from. It is just basically petroleum jelly. Doesn't really smell. It must have come from, dare I say it, an ex-girlfriend who just left it with me somehow. Lip therapy, by the way, sounds like a Rolling Stones album cover. They should have used that. So I put a scoop of lip therapy onto this Sculpey, and it's worked really well. I've been kneading it and folding it and rolling it up. Not that I've been kneading it. You know what I mean? Kneading with a K. So I've been squishing it and rolling it for a good 10-15 minutes, and finally it stopped. All the greasiness has actually gone, so it's just quite sticky, which is fine. And this is more what it's like when you buy it. So this actually works, and it's really cheap. I mean, a thing like this would probably cost you about £1. So don't be fooled. You might as well just use a slathering of Vaseline. So the plan is to try and at least make a head-shaped ball today, and cover it with a thin layer of Super Sculpey. If I made the entire head, say that was the entire head, and I popped it on there and put that in the oven to fire, it may not fire properly because it's so thick. It's 1 inch thick, and you need thinner amounts to harden properly. So they basically only the outside would harden. So I'm going to use a tin foil to bulk the main shape out and then coat it in a thin layer of clay. Now we're talking. I think that's more like it. I kind of roll it a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty good. It's not a great shape. I suppose I could get a hammer onto it, but I'm not trying to make a very solid one of those, you know, many layered hammered ball things. The problem with the ball, you have to work out like where's the top and where's the bottom and all this kind of stuff. So just kind of roll it around a bit. It's not a great sphere, I'll give it that. It's not the best sphere in the world. Mind you, we've got nothing to sphere but sphere itself, as they say. And at my age, sphere is mainly an illusion. I may even have to get a drill out to drill a hole at the bottom of the head at some point. But that, ladies and gents, this is about the size of a golf ball for reference. So I'm wondering if I can do the main head and I'll do the hair separately, or at the very least do the bit of the hair that hangs down at the back separately. I can attach that later on. And of course the ears and hat. My original plan was, I was thinking maybe I should make the clothing out of real cloth and, you know, a fabric umbrella and a little felt hat or something, but this isn't a puppet, it's a maquette. It's more of a sculpt, a statuette, so it's going to be all made of clay and painted accordingly. So we've got our ball. I say it's a questionable. So I'm going to flatten out the old sculpey. I'm going to try and keep it in one piece, and I don't have a rolling pin or anything, so I'm just going to make a little bowl out of it, and then I'll see if I can get that wrapped around at least the face area, and then I may have to come back once I've softened some new sculpey with the Vaseline method. And right, so that feels like it's about 3 millimeters thick, generally quite even, quite uniform. I don't really want to go much thinner than that because we do need to push into things for eyes and other protuberances. Plus I don't have any spare now for making noses and this kind of thing, but let's wrap it up. Yeah, as I thought, I don't really have enough to cover the entire ball of thing, but it's working well so far. See, the back of the hair would be something like that, you know, it'd just be hanging down, which is quite nice. But anyway, this is going to, I think we will cover the entire ball, which is cool. All we have to do is push that over there. Same with that one. It's very much like plasticine. It's easy to mold and move around, and it keeps detail really nicely. It's great stuff. A lot of professional figure makers and stuff use this. I used to use a lot of plasticine because it's very cheap. It's cheaper than this, but there we go. We've covered the entire ball. I'm just trying to smooth off some of the stuff. We are losing the light a little bit, but I'll keep going for a second. I don't know what that filth is in there. See if we can dig out the filth. It may be nothing at all. It may just be like paint from my fingers because I've been painting, as you can see. So I'm just going to dig out the offending filth. It's probably little bits of acrylic paint, but it's not going to hurt too much. Yeah. Mind you, it's very old. It might even be dust. So give that a final roly. Again, I still can't work out what would be the head, what would be the top, what would be the bottom. I'm just going to try and find a nice, I mean, she's quite flat faced, isn't she? So that's quite a nice flat part. What I need to do now is mount this on something to sculpt. So my plan was to use one of these plastic, you know, sports shake things. Put that there, pop the thing on top, sculpty, sculpty, sculpty. That would be fine. Really stable. Got a little nozzle there. Would have been good. Then I found something potentially better. The old Stormtrooper helmet decanter, made by an infamous chap. You can buy these all over the place, but it was a Christmas present, and as you can see, I keep little 5p coins in there. So no booze in there, but it's very heavy, so it's going to be very stable. And I thought, well, how do I put the thing in here? So I need to put something in the ball. So I've just used a knife, a standard knife. I jammed it in there, cut into the tin foil quite easily. And I'm going to put that right in there. And I'm going to lean it back a little bit so I can see the face. And now to keep that stable, we'll use the gift of masking tape. Kazalam! Right, restart after a false start. I did the kazalam. Other magic words are available. So I put some masking tape on there. I've had to rejig it because obviously I was talking and I realized the head was completely out of shot. Sorry about that. Sorry boot that, as they say in Canada. But what I was saying is, I'm smoothing out with my fingers, and the good thing about Sculpey is it's got a little bit of a bounce in it. So what that does is that it doesn't hold fingerprints as much as modeling clay or plasticine. So you can squish things, and it doesn't have all the fingerprints on it as you can imagine. It stays really smooth. It's very, very silky smooth, and there's all the Vaseline-ness has gone. Don't say that too fast. And that is smoothing out nicely now. I'm just gonna, like I say, I'm only concerned mainly with the face because obviously the sides and back are going to be covered with hair. But that's going to be a separate piece of Sculpey, I think. I do have plenty left over, but that's going to involve another hour or two of using the Vaseline to rejuvenate it into its former glory, as they say. Anything with Vaseline instantly becomes double entendre. Anyway, I'm liking that. How are we looking size-wise? It's bigger than a golf ball by now. So, yeah, it's a healthy little egg. Yeah, I may have to put a little bit extra for a point at the bottom of the chin. But I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Okay, I thought I owe it to you to speed this thing up greatly. So, I know I'm doing damage to my algorithms apparently by having a video that's over 10 minutes long. So I'd speed all this sculpting up for you because all I'm doing is waffling on about things like thank you for staying subscribed and, you know, hanging on to me even though I'm not doing a great deal of Doctor Who content because I'm not a Doctor Who channel. But I did give a shout out to a number of decent Doctor Who channels such as Josh Snares, Who Culture, Harbo Holmes, I always forget a couple, the Confused Adipose, Dan Hadley's Type 40, who else? Goodness me, Paul Mount does quite a lot of Doctor Who stuff, he's a friend of mine, and all the usual suspects. So we have a lighting problem here, as you can see. It's it's a very sunny day as I'm sculpting, so it's bleaching out the picture, sadly. But I'm nearly there. I actually found I built the top lip, and I put some cheekbones in later on. But before the cheekbones, this all looks a very bit Planet of the Apes. But I found I had this glass stone with a nice rounded thing on it, so I jammed that into the eye sockets to make a nice dip, and now I'm just flattening out two little balls to go into the eye sockets to make eyes, and we'll get a closer look at it as we get near the end. Okay? Okay, so how are we doing? Let's turn the light down a little bit. There we go. You can see that a bit better now. She's getting there. In all honesty, obviously seeing the mouth and the nostrils really does help. But in all honesty, the eyes are still, I would say, a little bit too close together. I may just tweak that a bit. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not terrible. I think the bridge of the nose needs a little bit of narrowing, and I can bring the chin in a little bit more now because she has a weaker jawline basically. So that's okay that side. That's getting a bit better. Yeah, again, I think I need to reduce some of this material down the side here and underneath, but it's looking okay. I mean, it's looking rough. Let's just not beat about the bush, but it's taking shape. I'm always my worst critic, and I'm going to do obviously some tweaking to this off camera, because it's a weird thing doing it on camera. You get very self-conscious and you rush because you want to show progress, but you're not as objective enough as when you're on your own. You know you're not being filmed, you know what I mean? I can't do it when someone's watching, as they say. So apart from a slightly lopsided grin, why not take a sculpting course instead of a computer graphics? Anyway, that's not terrible. It probably looks terrible on camera, but that don't look too bad. Right, we'll do a little bit off camera in the next few hours, and then we'll come back to it. I may even move the eyes further apart. I think this eye is a lot bigger than that one. But let's see what happens in a couple of hours, eh? Oakley dokley do, neighbor. Ah, it's good. Spiritual rejuvenation in a cup. So that's it for this week, or at least this installment. Oops, sorry, I keep kicking the camera. For number 4. I don't know how many installments this is going to take, but I'll try and keep the thumbnails consistent so you can see them. Maybe I'll put them into a playlist at some point. But I hope you found that at least time-consumingly interesting. I know it's not everyone's kettle of fish, and these are going to be my least watched videos probably. But I do have a core number of people who watch all my videos, so hello to you guys. I'm aware there's a lot of you who have joined to see Doctor Who content, as I keep saying, but it's not all going to be Doctor Who content. Do you think I should do that one about the 5 things I really love about Doctor Who and the 5 things I actually hate about Doctor Who? Do you think I should do that? I'm fairly sure a lot of people would like to see that. Let me know in the comments. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I will see you next time. Keep it here. Leave any comments you like to down below, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.